We are now turning our attention to a verse from the book of Job. Specifically, this is verse number 12, which is found in chapter 42. And the Lord blessed the latter end of Job more than his beginning. The profound meaning of this verse is that the Lord truly blessed the final stage of Job's life far more abundantly than how Job was in the very first stage. Of course, even in that first stage, Job was already a wonderful person who possessed many blessings, including a truly wonderful family, great wealth, and excellent health. Yet his restoration was even greater. And then, quite suddenly, all of that changed for the much worse. This difficult period was stage number 2, which was truly a very bad stage indeed. However, stage number 3 was a compensatory stage, and it actually held far more blessings for him than the blessings he had experienced back in the first stage. This is exactly what verse number 12 tells us about his journey. Job chapter 42 verse 12. And the Lord blessed the latter end of Job even more than his beginning. This means more than the days of his first stage of life. No, and that is truly significant. And I will read you a verse from the Epistle of James. A very, very, very important verse. So what does James say? James is an epistle from the New Testament. Behold, we call those who endure blessed, the people who endure. You have heard of the patience of Job, that in stage number 2, which was difficult, he endured. You have heard of the patience of Job, and you have seen the final outcome from the Lord. For the Lord is truly full of compassion, and he is merciful. You have heard of the patience of Job, not just so we can learn patience from Job. That is one part. But there is another part we learn from Job's story, that the Lord brings us out of distress and leads us into a restorative phase. The blessing found within the trial is greater than the blessing before the distress. Many people look to Job as a classic example of endurance and patience. Not just that, this serves as a powerful example of endurance and patience, illustrating the journey of emerging from deep distress and moving into a restorative phase. Into what kind of phase? Restorative. What does a restorative phase mean? It means the Lord compensates me for the time of distress by giving me, in the new phase, more blessings than I had before I entered the distress. It says to you, you have seen the outcome of the Lord, meaning what did the Lord do in the end? Why? Because the Lord is full of compassion and is merciful.